All right, are you ready for this? We have a saying in Arabic, وختامها مسك, which means the end is always very extremely beautiful and it smells like musk. So our next panel and our final panel for Hangar Talk Saudi Arabia has two incredible pilots. Two pilots from very different backgrounds, very different experiences, and very accomplished. They are both very visual, and they are both amazing storytellers. Please give me the biggest round of applause for Captain Long and Captain Pervez. We need another microphone here, please. Please, I've been waiting for this panel since forever.
Yeah, you take the. I like the emergency exit. Just in case I have to bail. You go.
I have to say, I'm honored to be sharing the stage with both of you, and it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal how very extremely diverse your experiences are. I mean, Captain Pervez, if you would allow me. You have around 19,000 hours, I believe? 18,500, right? And you were in the Pakistan Air Force, you were in the British Air Force, and you have so many stories. We were just having lunch and you were saying some stories. I didn't want us to stop. So I would love to just kind of start off with you. If you could tell us a brief background of your history in aviation and what brought you here today as well.
Can we have my
yes, if we could please have the slides and the presentations as well. They would be uploaded now.
All right, folks, first thing first. I'd like to thank His Royal Highness, Prince Sultan bin Salman, for giving us, everybody here, especially me, the opportunity to come here from Canada and meet amazing people here tied up with the same industry as I and yourself have been. Everybody here has been an amazing source of inspiration for me. And I'm like a high-time pilot, but I'm still learning so much from these amazing people, industry, entrepreneurs. And talking about inspiration, Jessica Cox today just shook everybody's soul and certainly touched my heart. So that was a high point for me. Really, it was. Thank you, sir, for giving me the pleasure of coming here. I'm totally indebted to you. You know that. Thank you, sir. No, I don't know about that, so thank you. Folks, you can see the title here is Bonded by Aviation. And I really mean that every sense of the word. The reason why I'm here is His Royal Highness is an aviator. And so am I, and so is everybody else. And we're sitting here because of that bond. So that's the bond all pilots have. Non-pilots may not be able to understand that, but we have it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And your story in the Air Forces, in Pakistan, and then in Britain as well, and then you becoming a jet pilot. Can you please tell us about this incredible story?
Yeah, we can go to the next slide, or if I have a thingy here. This one here. And is that the one? Is it? Oh, okay. Does it work? No, it doesn't work. Yeah, that's me, fighter pilot. All of 21 years old. I did have some hair before, believe me, and that's the truth. Anyway, folks, just like everybody else, at about age 9, I became totally infatuated with airplanes. Not only just airplanes, but fighter airplanes, because my father was a base commander for a military air base, lived very close to an Air Force base. And I ended up with that dream accomplished. I did 12 years of military service, flew jet fighters, F-86, and the next one would be, well, this is just an explanation, the next one. Oh. I'll let you do that, yeah.
I got the clicker.
Yeah.
There we go.
And, okay, now, to see if you guys can spot me here. Dead easy. Yeah, that was our transition from the F-86 to the UMIG-15 to the MiG-19, which is the last one I flew in the Air Force. And then I ended up in Saudi Arabia. And here I'll stop and I'll make a confession.
Tell us.
My confession is the reason for me to be bonded with His Royal Highness came about with two singular coincidences you call, sir. I would agree with that, but then we had a discussion with the learned Professor David. Stand up, please, David. You're the professor, the author, yeah. Yeah, and we were discussing, in fact, he opened up the subject and he said, the Prince used the word coincidence, but there has to be another word for it. And another accomplished gentleman, Tahir, would you please stand up? He said destiny. So either way, there are two moments in my timeline that bonded me with HRH. One was the fact that when I got out of the Air Force, I was just a fighter pilot, and there's no demand for fighter pilots in the civilian world. They want you to know, have you flown 4 engine airplanes, blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, this was the airplane that brought me to Saudi Arabia. And it's a spray airplane, and I got a job flying over the cities of Saudi Arabia. And the most amazing thing was that the finger of Allah actually fell on me, because the company that had this contract, the Swiss company, had to have a Muslim pilot to spray the cities of Mecca and Medina. So somehow, way out there in Pakistan, when I was crop spraying, they'd already been headhunting. And unknown to me, the finger of Allah fell on me.
MashaAllah.
So here I am.
MashaAllah.
And the second amazing thing was that after I had 2 years of that flying, which was in itself an amazing story, I decided that I should expand my horizons and look for jobs, and a company called Bin Laden Aviation was hiring at that time. Now, if I had not flown this business, been here, and not joined Bin Laden Aviation, I would not have met His Royal Highness in 1976. And he was just 17, 18 years old when I ended up in...
As he is now.
And I'll never forget that moment, because I was flying with Sheikh Salman bin Laden, who himself was a pilot. He was a couple of years younger than me, and a very accomplished pilot as well. And we took a Hawker Siddeley 125, 1BR, the oldest Hawker Siddeley in the world. And we ended up in Boulder, Colorado, where His Royal Highness was actually attending university plus flying, learning lessons. And we met at a function there. And I'll never forget you, sir. I mean, 18, you know, everybody's a kid. And I was a good 15 years older than you, right? So he's standing as he was, very tall, and I was standing as I was, very short. And I remember him sort of talking about us. During the sort of discourse of the evening, we talked, and he said, you know what? I'm going to call you Smiley, so we can slide for you. So here's His Royal Highness. Yeah, okay, keep going. Yeah, that's the airplane we took to exactly the same airplane, Golf Alpha Tango Whiskey Hotel, and we took that to Boulder, Colorado. And we can go a little forward. That's my name. And he said, why would you do, I asked, why, sir? And he says, because you're always smiling.
He really is. His face is bright. And I love this picture. I love the story of you meeting His Royal Highness.
Yeah. This is actually last October in Las Vegas, for the NBA convention.
This link has further pictures, right? For any of you who want to see more and more pictures, this is the link for you to go to.
There's some pictures quickly you can scan through. This other hobby of my life, flying. These are my pictures.
Beautiful. And you and Captain Long have this in common, right? You both put visuals to the most beautiful scenery in aviation. I think it's on. Captain Long, welcome.
Well, thank you.
Welcome to Hangar Talks. And I have to tell you, even though Captain Pervez has been smiling for the entire 3 days, and I think for his entire life, but you also have the same thing. The minute I met you on Thursday, and your face is just, mashallah, I have to tell you, you have one of the most happiest faces I've seen. Tell us the secret behind your happiness in aviation and your amazing photography for aviation as well.
I just like to fly, like all the rest of us. I met Prince Otan because with Joe Clark and in Idaho, and so the two things we have in common are we both love to fly. It doesn't matter what we fly, and then we love photography, and so for what I do, I always carry my camera, and the thing is, I always like to make people smile first to make them at ease, and then we can talk, and then we can enjoy each other's company after that.
And I believe you have more than 12,000 hours flying, right?
Well, I soloed when I was 16. I'm 54.
Wow.
So the last time I logged in my logbook was 2009. And it showed I had over 13.
Oh, wow.
And then on average, I fly 500 to 600 hours a year. So you can figure it out. I'll probably hit 20 here sometime or already surpass.
And Captain Long, you fly a seaplane, you fly a jet, you fly a Cessna, you fly almost every type of airplane there is.
I don't fly. I fly tail wheels just like Doug and Paul, but I fly seaplane. I fly everything pretty much except big jet because I don't like to travel long distance, and I mean my suitcase has to be big. So I enjoy my little backpack, but I do fly a lot of different airplanes.
Would you have a favorite plane to fly?
Just like what Ken Huff says, whatever we're in, we'll fly. But if I want to go, because I'm a search pilot, so I fly search in the state of Washington looking for a crash airplane. So I fly my 182, and if I want to go down to San Francisco, I jump in a Piper Meridian, and it's a nice cruising. And if I want to borrow a jet, I just go borrow a jet from a friend of mine, and we just go somewhere. I just have to pay the gas bill.
And you're one of the few photographers where your work is actually in your desk, right?
Yes.
So what is your favorite destination? From everywhere you've been in the world to do aerial photography, what was your favorite destination that you actually took photographies in?
I really don't have a particular, wherever I'm at, I love to find out what make that country or that place special. So in September, I had a chance to fly with Prince Otan right out here. So if we do the video, I can show you. But, the rest of the world thinks Saudi Arabia, desert is just desert, nothing out there. And that was my perception when I first got here in September. And Perf was probably know this too. You didn't think it was just a bunch of dirt over there, did you?
No. I'll tell you what happened. When they selected me to come here, that was a crop spraying outfit. And when their chief pilot called me in Pakistan and said, hey, we need you to work for us. And I said, where? He said, Saudi Arabia. I said, you got to be kidding, man. There just are no crops in Saudi Arabia. We're a crop spraying pilot. He said, well, who said you're going to be spraying crops? We're going to be spraying cities.
Oh.
That even was more strange. But then I traveled around and it did see it's totally different.
Yeah, so if we can run the video first. And then, so initially I was supposed to teach mountain flying to all of you guys out in the audience. But this is Washington where I live. And then this is in a Kodiak. So initially I was going to teach you this, but I changed it a little bit. So this is in a Kodiak, and that's on the east side of Washington State. That's about a 2,000-foot runway, and the elevation is about 3,000 feet.
Looks beautiful.
I have one simple rule to flying: don't hit anything. It doesn't matter what you do. You don't want to resort to skill or hit anything.
Oh, wow.
I even told Prince Otan that too. Don't hit anything. So the rule is.
Look at that. It's absolutely beautiful. I mean,
Look, you got the. Do we hit this one? No. So
it's a
initially,
good landing, isn't it? Yeah.
So initially, that's what I was supposed to teach you, mountain flying, but I changed. I look at the audience, and it really doesn't help. So I'll show you what I did for you guys.
But I've done this before.
What's that?
I bought my first Kodiak years ago, and we've done that stuff before.
Well, you know, he and I, we were in Idaho, and I told him, it's like, we're going to go soaring in a Kodiak. He wouldn't believe me, and then we did. We spent the next 2 hours soaring a Kodiak.
I'll take you to the Alps and teach you how to land at the high mountains.
Okay, we're going to do that.
Can we please have the next pictures up and stop the video? If we can have the pictures, please. There we go. Here you go, Captain.
We got the pictures up?
They would be put up right now, but
I'll make it really quick so you guys can enjoy seeing what you're looking at.
because I believe the air show is going on right now, and
Yeah.
we have some action for us to go and see. So, Captain, what's next in your mind for aerial photography?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, I just enjoy, doesn't matter, Prince Sultan and I, we were talking about coming over here and fly around for a couple of weeks or 3 weeks and capture this beautiful country of yours. And so we're just going to have to figure it out when to do it and what airplane, and then just do it, because he loved photography big time. And so, you know, we were flying around in Idaho, and it's like, I have to tell him lean forward or lean back because I'm shooting, and he tell me the same thing. And so, and he shooted with his iPhone 11, and I got my big camera down there, so we enjoy doing that.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Here are the
all right, I'll
pictures.
go through this really quick. So you normally won't see this. This is Mount Rainier, and this is really nasty day. So that's what I was going to teach you about bad weather flying. We don't recommend you doing this when the clouds are curling around the base of the cloud. So Mount Rainier is 14,000 feet. That's in Idaho, and then that's when we went flying in a Kodiak. So this Prince Sultan is pretty meticulous when it comes to flying, and so he pre-flight that aircraft. And so that's what I spent September flying around with him, and we had a blast. You guys recognize this airport? Yeah, for those you don't know, you're sitting right in the hangar right there. Oh.
Runway 17.
Now, all of you guys come down here, and you see all the tent along Tumama National Park. If you look back just a little bit, that's what it looks like in the back. And it's really unique to see from the air. You just tell me when to cut off. Okay, sound good.
Let's see 2 more pictures, Captain,
right.
because I cannot say no to you.
Okay,
Look at that beauty.
that's the edge of the world right out here, and that's
Oh,
what it looks
wow.
like. It looks like Colorado, Utah, and all that area. So your landscape here is stunning, and I
gorgeous.
can teach you mountain flying with that. So
Saudi Arabia, folks.
Saudi Arabia from the air.
Saudi Arabia.
There you go.
Oh,
That's our
wow,
Kodiak.
that's a gorgeous one. What a beautiful panel. What a visual panel, I have to say. And we have the 2 most smiling faces I have ever seen in my life on the stage right here.
Well, appreciate it.
Ladies and
Thank you
gentlemen,
very much.
aviators, thank you for being a part of a legendary season. Thank you for being a part of Hangar Talks for the first time in history in Saudi Arabia, and to so much more to come, bi'idhnillah. Thank you all, and thank you, Saudi Space Commission, Saudi Aviation Club, Your Royal Highness, for making history happen in the past 3 days.
I want to say hello to a dear friend. Okay. This was my boss and the F-15s when the Gulf War started. That's the man that made it happen. He woke me up. I was in his office sleeping, and he said, "The war is on. Let's go." Prince Bandar bin Abdullah. So he was the hottest pilot on F-15s, kept everybody on their toes, and no beard those days, right?
No beer.
And his daughter,
I need all the oxygen.
his daughter is working here, making things happen here. I only knew that yesterday. And she's even better than her father. شكرا عمد الله يسلمك طول عمرك خليك